Hello, welcome everybody. Well, for those of you that don't know me, I'm Thomas. Working for WCTalks. That's a brand new season this year. We wanted to try something different. We wanted to do something live. That's why we're here on Twitch. And because that's a new season, I won't be with Loic this year, but I have Olivia with me that is going to help me, with all these interviews and stuff. First of all, how are you?
Hi, can you hear me properly? Yeah?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Great, because my screen froze and I was worried.
What?
Since September,
Okay.
actually, since September. There.
Yeah, for Asphalt.
Yeah.
That was your first experience with Chase Tag, right?
Yeah. And what's the first experience with that?
And how was it? Did you enjoy it? What do you have to say
it.
about it?
I was very surprised. I didn't know what to expect. And I think it's very different to see the competition like on a video that to actually see people like jumping and running and being so agile in real time. Like the focus that they have and how they concentrate like those seconds just before they're gonna start to run, and I just everything that they do during the competition, like it's so fast that I don't know. I think that you can imagine what it's gonna be like, but it's not the same as to actually seeing it.
Like when you see it real life, it always feels quite different. That's why I keep, telling to Walt that he should come at some point and watch a competition in real life, because obviously it feels very different. Hello, Quad Talk. I know you're among us, Mr. the Copycat. So tonight we're gonna have Mr. Great Ball and Teardown for Waltz that are going to join us to talk about many things. We have a couple of announcements to make as well, but more at the end of the show. So yeah, you should definitely stay there if you want to know what's coming for Chase Tag. So yeah, I'm all ready to start. Do we have Greg and Walt with us? Oh.
Can you hear me?
Yay.
Yeah. Hello, gentlemen. I was like, are they here?
Where are
Are
they?
we alone?
Oh,
So how are
Greg's
you guys?
frozen. So,
Oh.
is he gone?
Well, maybe he's not there. I don't know if they discovered internet in the UK, but I hope they will at some point.
We did. We're just so in shock for the sun we had today. Maybe that's what's happening to him.
Oh, his laptop just died. He just
I
said,
have no
"This is
idea
a
what's-
perfect still frame of Greg to be frozen on
Yeah.
until he gets to come
Actually, yeah.
back." That's really funny.
Oh my gosh, I was so ready to actually start, making fun of the Brits, but he's not even there to answer, so I don't, really see the
There he
point.
is.
Oh,
Oh,
back.
there he is.
Hello.
Let's go.
There he is. That's the
As you
3-time
said,
right
welcome,
there.
Greg. It just my computer died, and I was like, "Sick, here we go." What a great start to the show.
Perfect.
How you guys doing? You okay?
Fine. How are you?
Good.
A bit flustered, but other than that, not too bad. Not too bad.
Man, your laptop died as soon as we started.
It's crazy.
That's
and I was
just
there on the
that's
chat
good
like,
timing.
so, we're okay though. We're all right. Just there it is. There it is. Yes, all is well on my side. How are you, Liv? You okay?
Yeah. I was just telling Thomas that today I was just in a good mood because we saw the sun, and
Oh.
that's
Finally.
I know,
Time
I
in the
know.
year.
Yeah,
I know
no, but
we
like,
Brits,
Like it,
we
No,
love
sorry, I was
talking
just-
about the weather, right?
was-
But like, I kid you not that it's been about 2 or 3 months of just overcast, rainy, like grey weather, and today we finally had some sun. And I think everyone in London right now is happy and ready to go.
yeah, we're like a spring
Could-
is
could you
here. Maybe it's not here,
imagine
but we believe that it's
how-
here.
could you imagine how she felt like moving from Spain, where it's always sunny, to the UK?
Why?
Oh my god.
Okay.
Must be quite hard.
Yeah, porque that's what I'm asking myself.
I was so excited because New York was 55 degrees yesterday and like overcast in Fahrenheit. So I guess that's like what I don't know, like 20
Yeah,
C
15,
for
20.
you, or like yeah. So
That's good.
I was
I like
thrilled.
that.
I was outside all day. I'm like, it's 55 degrees out. I can play volleyball all day. That's amazing.
Yeah, get out on the beach kind of weather right
Basically
now.
People
summer.
are like, "What are you doing? It's still the winter." I'm like, "No, you don't get it. The sun's out. It's amazing."
Yeah, no, for sure. And if you think that British people talk a lot about the weather, you haven't like met a Mediterranean person in the UK. Like that's like our topic. Like I swear
That's
to
why
God.
we always talk about the weather, is because of other people who actually have good weather coming here and making us jealous the whole time.
No, you know about what? Like I was shocked when I discovered that not everyone looks at the weather app every day, because it's something that we do.
yeah.
And then I realized that British people do not look at the weather app every day, but we do.
Yeah.
Like
I do as well every
Could you
morning, but I'm
imagine
also I'm not
If
British,
you're actually
so
doing this,
maybe
you're gonna
that's why.
be
okay, maybe.
you're gonna be depressed in the UK if you start looking at the weather every day.
You,
'cause you're
you
like,
guys aren't
"Oh, another
encouraging
rainy
me
day. Oh,
to
another
travel.
rainy
Weren't you
day.
just saying you're trying to get me to
Yeah.
go to a tag thing in London or otherwise at some point? Like, this is not encouraging for me.
Go France instead. Well, you're fine.
Okay, different.
Yeah.
I get it.
Go to France.
Yeah, as much as I would love to talk about weather for another 2 hours, I thought that could be interesting to talk about Chase Tag and other things. So yeah, I'm very grateful to have you there. Last time we saw you guys was for the Youth League,
Yes.
which was quite interesting, and we can talk about it a little bit later, because I'm really interested to talk about, the future of Chase Tag, etc. But this time I wanted to do, the other way around and start with the basis, I guess. Like, go back to the old time of Chase Tag, where the UK were the only place where people were competing. You guys were winning titles because, French and Americans weren't there. So, it was a very different time. And yeah, I was just curious about, let's start very vaguely. What happened to Marrero Gang? Like, what happened? You guys were on the top of the world. The UK was on the top of the world, and you went from everything to this, I guess. I don't know how to say it.
I think you caught him frozen again. You might have.
Yeah.
That
Did
type
you
of
lose
question
Greg
might.
again?
It was too much.
That
for
might
him.
hurt him. That might hurt him a little
Yeah.
bit. I think he's
That was
back.
too much.
but-
I
Too
feel
much
like I
for
keep crashing, and then you keep chatting shit about me, which is quite interesting. Sorry about that. Give me 1 second. I'm just gonna have a little look at what's going on.
You're just trying to dodge the questions.
What was the question out of interest? I've got my. I'm gonna see if we can get it like sorted, but
Okay. Let me make it very short. What happened to the UK? You guys were on the top of the world. No, you're. I don't know.
That's
there,
a great
I guess you have
big
one
question
team.
to come back in on. What happened in the UK? That we can have a conversation about this for probably like an hour or two. But there's a lot of things regarding like funding, organization, and I feel like the scene just wasn't as strong here after a while, right? So like obviously Chase Tag started here, and this is always going to be the birthplace of Chase Tag. And for the first couple of years, yeah, the presence was great, but like us, Morera Gang, and Eugen, and Christian and Damien DeVoe, like we all spent so much time trying to get something up and running here in terms of like clubs and classes, and obviously we got a good bunch of competitions going, but the land here is so expensive to rent or to buy, so that it becomes so uneconomical just to have a quad in the first place. And then what's been quite successful in other places is that you'll have a lot of parkour gyms, which will take on a quad and involve it and integrate it into the audience they already have and the participation they already have. And the UK has maybe 2 parkour gyms, one of which is up north, and the other one is, I think it's in like Liverpool and like Manchester or something like that. So there's nothing actually in London, which means that out of all of the places we could potentially set it up, if it's not a cost issue, it's then going to be a lack of like actually having a community around it. So as France, Europe, and America, go on.
Yeah, no, I was going to say, like, I think that it's interesting how athletes went from mostly parkour athletes to actually a lot of people that are coming from other sport nowadays. And so, I don't know, I'm surprised that if you think about it, the UK didn't really follow that trend. Because if you look at French or Americans, now we have more and more, I don't know, football players or track and field athletes or people that are coming from another background. And I don't know what happened to the UK scene, but I felt like it was so interesting because the founders are there. You have the first couple of world champions there. Yeah. And well, the US is a different beast because I'm not going to say they're playing the pay to win game, but kind of that's the only place where Chase Tag is actually investing money. Yeah. But French people tried to find solutions to create more gyms and quads and stuff. Yeah. And I was surprised that the UK didn't really follow that trend that much.
Yeah, and I think that's fair. I think that's accurate, and I don't think it's for lack of trying. Like us and Eugen definitely spent a lot of time, and Richard, the captain of Eugen, one of the captains of Eugen, managed to get something set up just before WCT 6, so a lot of the UK teams could actually train. But the problem is, again, like in London, the rent is so expensive, and outside of London, you just don't have enough catchment for people to come and get involved in. Roubaix was something so interesting to look at because it's in quite a poor area. And there was a lot of help from like council and grants to get it up and running. And we explored that here in the UK as well, but there wasn't the same amount of support coming from the council. All of their funding was going into like football or like rugby or tennis, right? So yeah, and I think that means that like as a lot of participation increases in France and Europe, the UK just starts to drag further and further behind, and there's less incentive to get involved, and there's less teams to try follow, and then Eugen start training in like in like just outside of Amsterdam instead. So yeah, it's just there's not a core community here, and that's what France in particular is doing so good at the moment. You have the youth league, you have a lot of incentive, you have a lot of funding now, and you have a lot of people pushing to try and make it happen. Yeah.
And Greg, like, cause
for me, very good question from our production team. They're asking you if you think the UK are going to get a quad at some point.
If I'm a betting man, it has to happen eventually. I know that Rich and Eugen are still working very hard to get something set up here, but they're the only Chase Tag team now from the UK. I mean, obviously we've got other little teams kind of here and they're getting involved, but none that has the legacy and the backing that Eugen does. So listen, I can't speak on behalf of Eugen. I know that they're really trying to get something set up, but as the sport continues to grow, which it does, it would be silly if something didn't come back to the UK. So I really hope it does. I really, really do. But yeah, who knows, man.
And Greg, I have a question. So do you have any idea
anyway,
for
I
how
didn't mean to create political...
Oh.
Go on, Liv.
I don't know if you can. Sorry, it's because I think it's the delay. I was just gonna ask, like, do you have any suggestion that you're like yourself that you think that would be good for the UK to come back? Because for me, in asphalt, what I realized that surprised me the most was like actually the British teams, they were really good, and it seemed like such a shame that now they're struggling with where to train, and at the end it was created here, right? But now it looks like it's moved like somewhere else, and it's just like such a shame. Like, do you have any particular idea of how to make it come back, or is there any way that you would like to get involved?
So like it definitely needs more work from the grassroots. So what we need is more of the parkour gyms in the UK offering chase tag classes, so getting certified like a lot of the French teams and athletes have done. And then that creates an ecosystem from the ground up rather than from the top down, which is how it initially started. So if we can get more younger athletes, more parkour coaches, and more gyms in the UK wanting to teach chase tag and get involved in the system, then you have a core like community which you can then grow and build with. And again, that's what we're seeing with the Youth League, which is what's working very nicely. And at that point, you can then go to the council and you can go to Sport England and you can then request more funding because you've got a grassroots community already built. So that's kind of the how it would need to work over here in order to get it up and running. But then again, the problems are that there's just not enough gyms, not enough coaches, not enough like influence at that ground level.
And would you like to be a coach or like have a team or something? Because I don't know, like I remember you in asphalt, and actually you were the person that taught me everything, and I what's happening, and you definitely know how to explain it.
For sure. My dream for a long time was to continue, and it still is to push chase tag as much as possible. And originally that was going to be coaching and managing. And that's why I left like the actual being an athlete and went on to trying to manage a team so I could then help outside of that in trying to find sponsors for the sport, trying to put on events like the Backyard Flight Club was organized pretty much exclusively by myself. So like, that's why I stepped back from actually participating. I don't think coaching and managing is where my like necessary skill set lies. I love commentating. I love being hosting of like events. And I feel like that's really what makes me come alive a bit more at the moment. And if I've learned anything over the past couple of years in my life, it's that like go in the directions that you feel fire and you feel passion for and stick to that and do as good of a job as possible. So for me, it's more, I would like to keep spreading as much about chase tag as possible. I would like to keep kind of the legacy that we've got, make sure that keeps going. And hopefully at some point it'll start here and I can then get involved at that point there. But yeah, I've sacrificed a lot into trying to get it up and running, and it's just not something that I can kind of carry at the moment, which is sad.
I didn't mean to go too deep on the UK right now. And I was really interested by your experience, Walt, because I feel like, okay, Melee, in my opinion, is like one of the most fascinating scene, because when you think about it, you have like competitions of a game that is almost 20-year-old or something.
It's 24 years old now. Yeah.
Nothing. Oh my, I feel old. No, I feel quite old.
Yeah.
But so for me, it's crazy that people are able to organize events, have all these competitions and stuff on something that doesn't really evolve that much. And I felt like the chase tag community had a lot to learn from that. So I would start with a very simple question. How did you end up in chase tag? Like, what happened?
Oh, this is really funny, actually. I'm so glad you asked this. So I am going to say Greg talking about kind of like the grassroots initiatives and whatnot, I think is really cool to me, because there is a lot of overlap for how at least my experience in like competitive gaming and esports have worked out. For Smash, it was very grassroots, like a lot of people organized events at the local level, and then that kind of builds up into something greater over time. And like, just as an example, there was an event that recently stopped running last year up in Detroit, Michigan, built from very, very small numbers, under probably like 50 people for the first entry of this event. And they just kind of kept at it over years and years and years, and turned it into this like enormous major event that everyone wanted to go to. So I think tag could definitely be on a similar trajectory. And I am 100% with Greg that it starts with cultivating that audience and cultivating those people and cultivating that interest in the sport, because it's definitely there, right? I mean, you look at just the pure marketing side and the pure business side of it. You know, the World Chase Tag channel has 1 million subscribers. They're enjoying the sport. There are people out there who have this kind of hunger and appetite for watching this sport and watching this sport develop over time, which I think is really cool. But in terms of how I got into tag, it was very funny. I was on vacation actually at my mom's for like a couple of days just to go visit her. And she had ESPN2 on, and I had World Chase Tag just show up randomly on network television in America. And it was good old Dan, and I can't recall who else was commentating with him at that moment.
Probably Connor.
Yeah, probably. And I remember, which, by the way, the challenge still stands for Dan. Greg, whenever you want to go back to your coaching roots, I'm ready to destroy him on the quad. It's going to be easy.
Let's go.
I'm leaving it all on the mat. I want you to know that. Yeah, I had it on. My mom just like happened to have ESPN2 on, and it showed up, and I ended up watching it for like 2 hours or something, just straight, because I was like, this is really cool. And you know, we were just kind of chilling out at the house or whatever. And randomly, I was way more active on social media and everything back then. So I had just posted publicly, I just watched this World Chase Tag sport for like 2 hours on a whim. And it was really cool. Like, I was like, this is a really rad sport. Just kind of out to my audience of mostly gamers who are not really endemic to, I guess, like a more traditional sport, if you will. And I don't know if it was Damien or Christian, but the official World Chase Tag account replied to me like within the hour. And they were like, they sent like a meme or a GIF or something of just like people running on the quad. And then me jokingly, because I was a commentator in several different esports starting at that time, I replied back to the official account and I said, will you let me commentate for you? And they said, sure, let's DM. So I ended up messaging back and forth with the account, and then got in touch with Christian and Damien from there. Sent them my reel and everything. I didn't know if I needed to do that to kind of get involved. And they were like, wow, you're great. We want to use you, especially for the online stuff. So let's just throw you in it. There's an event like next week. Can you learn the obstacles? Can you learn the athletes? All the stuff. We're gonna put you with Greg. He rules, and he'll make it easy for you for sure. Yeah, and then the rest is history. I think that was back in like, that had to have been like 2022, right, Greg?
I feel like it was the qualifiers. It was one of the qualifiers for the French comp before we went into WCT6.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Because I remember the first event. Yeah, it was one of those, and I think I had just gotten off the call with Christian and Damien maybe like 3 days before, and I had met you, and then they were like, is this enough time for you to learn the obstacles and like learn the jargon of the sport and everything along those lines? And I was like, sure, I mean, I'll do whatever, it doesn't matter to me. And obviously, of course, having someone with Greg's pedigree and resume there definitely helped me out a lot, because I was like, you're the analyst. I'm just going to talk about what's going on.
You
smashed
it, man.
Like, stuff. Yeah. Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Great job. It was almost like commentating with Dan. Like you picked it up like a natural.
I appreciate that a lot. Yeah, I think Dan is someone I definitely would like to meet in the future, just to kind of like chop it up and learn about how. Because his background is really interesting to me too, as we found out he was a professional darts commentator. And to me, I'm just like, that's wild.
He's quite an interesting character. I really love Dan. We already had some kind of podcast with him where we were pretty much drinking beers and talking together.
Yeah.
And he had like quite an interesting life. And it was super like interesting to see how he was thinking about, the sentences he was going to use, like the narratives he was trying to build, etc. And that's something that I really like, narratives in general. Because I'm watching a lot of esports. My partner and the rest of the production team, they're kind of annoyed because I keep being like, oh, look at League of Legends, look at Counter-Strike,
let's go.
Like everything they're doing. I just love it so much. And I was quite happy because I remember we were working on, I think, words. And then someone was like, oh, we had a conversation with Walt. and they want to do this, and they sent me a video of the LEC explainer, and I was like,
Yes.
I already love that dude. I don't know that dude, but you know.
Oh, I
'Cause
love to
I
hear
don't know,
that.
I
Yeah.
was, yeah. And so, by the way, like that's just a small questions, but what happened to the rest of the videos? Because you guys started working on videos for each group, and maybe I missed them, but I only saw
Oh,
like group A or something.
Yeah. I think I guess this is one on screen right now, but oh gosh, Marcus, right? I think Marcus was working on a couple of them. I voiced all of them. But I think I would guess it was just probably a timing thing. It was probably just a decent chunk of work to be able to get done.
Okay. Because I wasn't sure if it was, I don't know, you guys weren't happy with the result, etc. I felt like it was quite nice to give a little bit of background for everybody watching the sport. Like, hey, you know, these are the teams, whatever, this is the format, this is what's coming. I don't know, I quite like that.
Yeah. I would love to, expound on this more in the upcoming season, like building up to Worlds. Because I do think that this is like an easy way to make it accessible to an average viewer, right? Especially when you're, like I said, audience is enormous for at least the people who are subscribed on World Chase Tag, right? So making that digestible and understandable to a casual viewer is going to be really important.
So Quad Talk is saying like in each trailers there is some inspiration from the esports scene. Yes, there is. In my mind, at some point, I want the Chase Tag trailer to look like the League of Legends, trailers. So I'm working on it. But yeah, for Words, that's exactly what I had in mind when I did like the opening for the competition. I was trying to give people a little bit of a story of, who are the big dogs, like who's coming, like what happened in the Chase Tag history, how the sport grew all that time. So that's what I had in mind, and that's what I was trying to do. But hey, look, if you want to do more content like this in the future, I would love to see that.
Hey, I told Christian and Damien, Greg, you were in that call too. I made a channel. Yeah. It's just a matter of time, time, and it's admittedly I came into the sport a little bit later, so learning some of the things that predate me is important for, I think, setting context, creating context, and being able to establish a narrative for the future. I'd love to. It's literally a time thing for me.
Makes sense, because I was thinking about your videos and I was like watching some of them, about odd characters in Melee, and I was like, I would love to see stories about like the Chase Tag athletes. Maybe at some point you could do one about Greg that slowly became a meme. Our 3-time world champion.
You have to dig into the archives for that one.
I swear, at first I wrote like some kind of intro for you guys, and I was like, I don't know how to introduce them. Maybe I should be like the man, the myths, and then I thought about you, Greg, and I was like, the meme. Oh yeah, it works well.
Oh my god.
Love that. Absolutely love it, man. Oh, I do agree. I think that's what the sport needs, though. Like, you look at Drive to Survive and what it did with F1, and there's been so many other like kind of docu-series around sports that helps to make that community even stronger. And yeah, I reckon with Walt's beautiful voice and the incredible action that this sport brings, it'd be good.
Okay, I need to say, actually, there's a chip on my shoulder that I will never remove of, thank you for complimenting my voice, Greg, but it's unfair that you and Dan and all the great foreign commentators out there have this like beautiful accent for which to work with, and I just have to be like an American guy. It's really annoying, and it makes me so mad because I'm like, damn it, I listen to Dan and I can say the exact same thing as him, but he sounds so much better than me, and he just sounds so good.
Like Dan Dawson compared to anyone is gonna sound insane. Like there's a reason that he's the official darts commentator, right? Like
yeah.
Whereas I love it when I hear that proper American like twang when you're chatting about like when you're running through the obstacles and you've got that flow to your voice. And like I think for me as someone from the UK, it sounds almost like bigger when we've got an American commentator on board as well. So I reckon it's just a perspective
I'll take
thing
it.
At the end of the day.
I'll take it. Yeah, well, you take the good with the bad, I guess. So
Anyway, so we thought about like how could we show you some of the past moment in chase tag, and how can we all have some kind of conversations about these moments. So we selected with our crew 16 videos from past events. Some of them are quite recent, some of them are quite old, and we're gonna do a very basic game. We want to kind of work as a team and decide like which movement is better than the other one. So production team, if you could bring the tier list now and some of the video, that would be great.
On the plate. Looking.
Oh,
So this is a classic.
This is old.
Sketchy Andy. Oh, I remember being there for that one.
And he's back up. He's back up.
Oh my gosh, I remember I was filming from the balcony, and when I saw this for 1 second, I was like, oh, that guy is dead. I was terrified.
This is Sketchy Andy in a nutshell.
That is
There's a reason they call him
unreal.
Sketchy Andy. But one of the best athletes I've seen in the sport. One of the most committed athletes I've seen in the sport. Oh, look at that.
We were that was my camera. Oh my god. We were.
Wait,
we
so
were
you're saying the
actually
clips
thinking
get
about
better
it.
than this? Because this is already crazy.
Yeah, we have other ones. Don't worry about it. But so we were talking about it with the team. He was called Sketchy Andy.
Yes.
But when you think about it, I'm not sure if was he injured in the competition once? Like I
No.
don't think so.
No, not at
That's-
all.
that's
And like
crazy.
Andy barely got injured, and like, look, it's a bit of a meme that we call it Sketchy Andy. Like his technical placement wasn't the best, but his like awareness, his like not even aggression, just his commitment and confidence was unmatched. So every time you stood up on the quad with Andy there, and we were big rivals, you would instantly be intimidated. Like you would instantly have this like David and Goliath, like, oh, like he's gonna run me down because you know he's gonna put his body on the line. And like that was always so intimidating to come up against.
That's got to be so scary for you too as an athlete, Greg, where it's like you have all of these predetermined routes in your head for like where you think you can go as an evader, and then this guy just throws the playbook out the window and throws his body out the window too, and just launches himself into the panels like that. That has got to be. I mean, there are moments where I'm glad I'm not a chase tag athlete. That's probably one of them. So
yeah, for sure. And like
So
the
two things.
go on, Tom.
Two things. Where do you want to rank it? And second
Ooh.
thing, in the chat, if you guys also want to give your notes, we're going to be able to take that into consideration. It's like Olivia and me, we're going to try to defend you if you disagree with these two gentlemen. So what about that jump?
I reckon that's one of the top moments that I've actually had like in the sport, right? I think that's one of the like most committed. Actually, I say that there's been some incredible stuff over the past couple of competitions. So I give that. What are we doing? Like A, B, C, or D? Is that how we're going to rank it?
You have S.
we have it on
A,
the
B,
screen.
C,
Yeah,
D.
Okay, cool. Okay,
I
personally,
would go between S and A for me,
Okay.
but it is the first one, so I'm not sure if we're gonna get crazier than this.
I'm going to choose A for myself. I think there's a better moment that I can personally think of, but I also think this is one of the
Okay.
more iconic ones.
We
I'm with
only had
Greg.
16 moments, so we weren't able to put everything. Like, for me, I wanted to put maybe 5 or 6 clips of Naeem, because he does like crazy things, but then I was like, we only have 16, so I have to make a choice. So yeah, I don't know if we're gonna have the moment you have in mind, but yeah, we have a
That's good to
some
Yeah,
good
this
ones.
is a speculative A because we haven't seen the rest of the clips yet. I think otherwise it's an S is where I'm coming from.
Yes, I agree.
So
I
Quad
agree.
Talk is saying S to A, S tier for sure for Marcus. Oh, Marcus, how are you?
Hey,
let's
how you
go.
doing, Marcus?
There he is.
Let's go for Hey, I guess.
Yeah, sounds good.
All right,
Okay,
that's cool.
should we move to the next one?
Let's do it.
Ah, there he is. This was at WCT France. This was.
Naeem.
This was last year, right?
It was. I think it was.
Oh
what,
yes, the double back.
2023?
Oh my god.
Yeah, I love that one.
Yeah.
No joke. Oh yeah. Quad Talk was actually playing in that team.
What a, that's insane.
Oh wow. He stanced up at the end too.
Mm-hmm.
That's so
Like
I
beast.
love how you
Okay.
guys recognize the video. like 1 second, and you guys know what moment it is. It's crazy. Like you have seen this like many times. It was like core memory for you.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, again, I remember being on
You
the
don't
side
see
when
that
this all
every
happened.
single day.
Oh, that was an insane moment as well.
That was really cool.
It's like, from a technical point of view, that was more skillful than what Sketchy Andy did, right? And like in terms of the prowess of the movement, that was far superior. But also like Andy's clip is still so iconic. So I think for me, it's still on the A tier, but it's also pushing up to S, I reckon. Humble opinion.
Okay, I'm gonna go the other direction on this one. So I don't know how this will work if we're split. I think this is a B, and I'm going off of the context of the match as well. They were already up like I think it was like 4-0 at the time of that clip.
Yeah, probably
so it was like, you know, a little bit of time to show off or whatever. Obviously, I'm with Greg. The technicality of the movement is incredible, and you know, I'm always impressed watching Naeem just go. That was Naeem, right, doing this? Yeah, just going insane. Like that's just gross. I think in a vacuum, if it was 0-0, I'm putting this in S. But I think for the fact that they were already up so much at this point, it gets knocked down a little bit at that point. But the stance at the end, that gets me to B easily.
So, what's the final
Yeah,
verdict?
I'll go B.
B?
I'll give it B with what I think you struck the nail.
Oh no, not the 3-time.
We lost him again.
Not the 3-time.
You know, British people. Can you?
Their fake
can
internet.
You really trust them
Never trust
with
them.
anything?
No, you can't.
I don't know. And I'm saying this, and there is a Spanish woman in the conversation. So could you imagine? You know?
Hey, take care.
Oh,
And
he's back.
He's back. Yay.
He's back.
Let's go.
B.
Okay,
Next clip.
Zeo is saying B as well. Everybody seemed to
Okay.
be agreeing on
All
B.
right, let's go to the next one.
So I guess it's gonna be B.
Yes.
Okay, next one.
Okay.
I can make you a little dance.
Holy, I remember seeing this.
Yeah, Greg, you're gonna have to help me out with this one.
Oh, it was insane. It was a training clip from Wolf's-Den. I forgot who's in the actual video, but
It's John
Like-
Rue, like
Oh,
the guy
wow.
from Tempest. Absolutely
Holy
lovely dude. Like, I don't know. When you picture a cool American, that's what you have in mind. That's Joe. He's absolutely lovely.
yeah, that was insane. I remember going mad on social media and kind of like sharing and commenting and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, what a crazy route that is too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that'll start
Holy
being used
moly.
more and more in competition now, like as we see it. Because I think this was only posted just before WCT 6, like just before. Yeah, wow. Absolutely insane. I think my initial thought is what you were saying in the previous clip, Walt. Training situation, insanely technical move, and something that I think we'll see quite a lot of in the future. But like in terms of high stakes, in comp setting, all that kind of stuff, I think we have
It was
to
a
think
comp,
about
but it was a comp, but it was a tiny comp. It was a comp at Momentum, and so that was done in a comp. But yeah, I think it was a comp with maybe 4 or 5 teams, like not something that is quite big with the audience and the pressure, etc.
Yeah, but such an
Quatok
innovative
is saying
move.
ND tier. So
Yeah. I'm gonna give that B again myself because I think that there's maybe some other clips in here which are very good to see.
Yeah,
we have
I'm with
16, so-
Greg on that. Yeah, we got a
Pretty
ways
good.
to go. So I'll go with B as well. I think you know, the context sets the narrative a little bit on it. But yeah, I'm with you, Greg. I think, oh my gosh, if we start seeing that in comp, like high level, it's gonna be crazy.
the production team was asking Oli, how does she feel about this?
Well, you know what I was thinking about this? I was like literally thinking what goes through the mind of the competitors, of the athletes, because it all goes so fast, and like doesn't it ever cross their minds like, okay, I might break a bone or two here? Like they're reckless, you know, that they're just jumping and moving and they're so accurate.
Yeah.
Like
I think the insight here is that I've seen clips before this as well of like crash mats on the tilted cube and on the exit where he comes out of it. So, you know, as a viewer, you might think that, oh, he's just jumping, it's reckless. But like, he's probably practiced this so many times on mats at first and then scaling it back and then probably in like some mock situations and then in actual competition settings. So a lot of work has gone into it.
Yeah, I think what's interesting to me too is we talk so often, like Greg, myself, a bunch of the other commentators, the idea, like especially in the youth league too, you know, like the familiarity with obstacles is one thing, but confidence to move through them is an entirely different story. I could tell you, you know, the first time I step on a quad, I'm going to be horrified and I'm going to move very slowly, probably, except if I'm against Dan Dawson, then I don't care if every bone in my body breaks. I'm going all out for it. But there is some level of fear that I think exists when you're new to the sport, probably, where you're like, oh, I'm not sure if this is going to work out the way it goes.
So competition is probably something different. But so I have an older brother and he's not like really into sport at all. And from time to time I'm training because obviously I'm working in chase tag, but also, you know, personal relationships and stuff. I brought my brother and he brought all of his colleagues to try chase tag. None of them are into sports. After like 10 minutes, they were doing things. I was the one being scared. I was like, guys, could we please like calm down? And they were doing things. I was like, your body cannot, you know, take that amount of stress. And he was like, yeah, but it feels so good. It's almost like he was a kid again. And for the whole evening, he was telling me, when are we going back to chase tag? When are we going back to chase tag? Like, it just felt so good.
That's awesome.
And the excitement in the room was like, I don't know, so fun. So you should come and train. And
I want to. I
told
Greg, I told you I need a lesson. I need a coach. I need to figure out what's going on. That's so interesting to me too, though, because I feel like it's like the reverse of what you just said of, you know, it's like when you go skiing, right? And if you're a child and you're on the mountain, there is no fear at all. You just launch yourself down. You're going so fast. And then I think when you get older and more developed, you see the kid doing that and you're like, wow, this is really dangerous that he's doing that. But yeah, it's so interesting and cool to me to hear that, you know, people have had the opposite experience with that.
Because
I'm down to be trained too.
Chase tag.
Let's go. Let's go. Group lesson.
Yeah,
by the way,
learn.
you have no excuses now because they built a quad, Urban Corp 40. It's just next to Spain, so you better go there and you better try. The place is amazing. It looks great. It's like a very old building where they did put a quad, and it looks like very nice. So you should come. You should.
Yeah, send me the address
and when it comes
send me a coach.
When it comes to danger, I feel like chase tag is an interesting one. Because when you think about other sports like rugby or, I don't know, MMA or whatever, I don't feel like chase tag is that dangerous. But everybody like see it in a way, because there is metal bars and stuff. Everybody sees it in a way where it's like, oh, that sport is so dangerous and it's so dangerous. And I have no idea. I'm still trying to figure out like how dangerous it is actually. Because compared to other sports,
it's dangerous for a specific athlete, and I don't want to. Greg's laughing because he knows. I think everyone knows, but I don't want to say it because I feel like it's going to be one of the upcoming clips. So I'll leave it at that. And if we don't see it, then we'll circle back.
So then maybe we can move on to the next clip.
Let's do it.
Quad Talk is saying that kids are fearless. I agree.
Oh yeah.
I agree.
That's half the reason why the youth league's been so amazing as well. But
where should we put the?
Oh, it's been so impressive. Yeah, B for that one.
I'm B on that one too.
Although I am excited for that move to make some waves now.
Okay.
You might need a little bit of context for this one.
I actually don't know what
we were in sudden death, and the winner of that sudden death was going to qualify to the semifinals. And so they did it like exactly the same time. And in chase tag history, we had some moments where in the US they had a couple of sudden death that were like 20 seconds and 20 seconds, but it was the first time that some people were actually doing it exactly at the same time, and it was a brand new like situation, and it was super exciting. Sorry, to be there.
So it's like sudden death.
To be
sudden death.
Yeah. This was the first time it happened, right?
Yeah, like in the middle of a chase. Yeah. As I said, in the US they had one sudden death where both evader actually stayed 20 seconds, so they did another round. But it was the first time that it was like, you know, in the middle of the chase, exactly the same time, exactly the frame. And so yeah, it was brand new. And to be fully honest with you, because I don't know how many people were there physically, our system with the guy that is working the lights and etc. wasn't prepared for that situation. So when we started the next round, we actually had a little bit of an issue that we did fix for the TV show so that nobody knows. But that was it was funny when the next round started, the buzzer ran off like immediately, and we're like, oh, okay, what happened? And yeah, that was fun. So
I think
what about
for
this
me, the fact that it was the first time this had ever happened, that bumps it up a little bit. I think it was just a tag at the end of the day, so I'm probably going to hover around a B for this one. But it is really cool to be put in a situation where, you know, like the production team, the casters, no one knows what is supposed to happen because it's never happened before. I think that kind of rules.
Yeah, like I think definitely agree. I think from an action point of view, it's not as good as we've seen so far. But from a context point of view, the fact that like it's a unicorn moment, isn't it? It's like we're always in chase tag waiting to see like what the time difference is going to be, and it's always like a 0.1 second here or a 0.1 second there. So I think that definitely raises it quite a bit in my book. But I'm still going to stick it probably underneath the two of those personally.
Like B, C.
I reckon C for me personally.
Ooh, okay. Yeah, let's do C.
And in the chat, rather than talk about my dress, even though I appreciate the compliment, you could also give us some, you know, notes as well, like letters. You can play that game too.
Yeah. What about you, Liv? Where do you think it's at?
Like for me, it's just amazing how like just a millimeter or 1 millisecond before after, it just makes all the difference. Like I think like it's a very technical sport, and like accuracy is such an important part of it that it's just every time you see it, it's like, okay, you have like they have to be so concentrated because just the smallest thing will make all the difference. And I agree, like it wasn't maybe as impressive as the other ones because we've seen like just like some few clips that were like you know, the brain just goes like this. But I understand that in the context, it must have been like, especially in the moment, people would have gone crazy when that happened.
Definitely.
So,
Okay.
C.
But yeah, let's see the next one and see what's next and what you guys think.
Cool. Alrighty. I'm liking where you're going with these though, Thomas. I like that it's not just like high action clips. I like that you've actually got like really strong moments from chase tag.
Yeah.
I think that's a very big emphasis here.
I hope the one that I said makes it, but we'll see.
So, same thing, for a little bit of context, it was the first time that a serious team from America was coming to an international competition, and Apex just destroyed everybody. Like, it was not even close. And you can tell that all the teams were not prepared for the movement they had, and the movement you can see is called a Viper. Now a lot of people are doing it, but to do it that well and that fast, I felt like Seth one was probably, you know, the best. Even today, it's probably still one of the best. I would say maybe you have people like Dustin or whatever that can do it, but I don't know. It was just on another level, and none of the team were prepared for that. So that was brand new.
Yeah, I have to echo that, Thomas, that like, so this was WCT 5. And not only did Apex come with a whole like catalog of new moves, but it threw everyone off. Like no one was expecting. So like usually in that situation there, you're going to expect the chaser to either come around the same side of the tilted cube or maybe climb over the bars and go in, or maybe slowly get in. But this was the first time that we actually saw some very quick, like efficient Viper movement coming through. So it's like, technicality is insane, but the unpredictability of what they did is the reason why they dominated that competition. So yeah, for me, this is a high one as well.
Yeah, I think
I agree with the. Oh, go on. Sorry.
So I think Greg has a lot of good context to, which impresses me from a historical standpoint, right? Of from a technical perspective, coming into the sport in the year that I did, I feel like this is very standard, right? But this is also how the sport develops over the years. So it's like, someone Einstein or whoever discovering the light bulb for the first time, and you're like, holy crap, what? You can do that. So I think that does bump it up for me as well. It is really cool to see that, or at least the context that Greg has provided is that no one was really vipering that efficiently at that time. And for someone to be able to break it out like that is really cool.
So if I remember correctly, in the whole tournament, they gave only one evasion, and it was when Amos was on the quad.
Yeah, it was insane.
Nobody scored a single evasion except that one, and they were just smurfing on the competition. I don't know if I can say that in chase tag, but yeah, they were pretty much smurfing. So
yeah, it was insane. It was absolutely insane. That's probably the biggest dominating victory that's happened in a long time, for sure.
And just to make you feel old a little bit, it's also the last official competition where Arun actually played. He played 2 chases, made a tag, got tagged, end of the competition.
And that was that.
So yeah, it's a long time ago.
Wow. I think this was the first that I commentated with Dan on as well. We got knocked out first match. I think it was either Kimio or PK59 that knocked Moreira gang out. And it was so early on the competition that Christian Damon were like, do you want to try some commentary? And I was like, you know what? Yeah, screw it. Let's give it a go. And I got the pleasure of seeing Apex absolutely destroy the rest of the competition there. So it was good. Yeah, definitely a B for me, I reckon.
B? Okay.
Yeah, I'm good with a B.
Sorry, guys, what can you tell us about the strategy here? Because this unpredictability that is what makes you win. Also, how do you train that?
Amos, that's the answer for you. Amos is he's I don't even know. I thought in the early days we were good at coming up with new strategies, but Amos and the rest of the Apex team have just put the time in from a creative point of view in trying to think about what is the opposite thing that we can do here, what is being done so often, and how do we just counter it. And you mix that with a group of some of the best parkour world chase tag athletes that you can, and you get magic at the end of the day. And this is magic.
Yeah, that dude's an absolute freak. He's just a freak. It's so sick.
No, it's very impressive. No, sorry.
But then it was the first time that someone was taking the game that seriously, and I felt like it really made a difference. Nowadays, you have more and more teams that are going to think about all the situations and prepare and work. But back then, I felt like, the UK guys thought that they were on top of the world and they could never lose. And so they got surprised. So anyway,
hey, well, we got humbled in WCT 4. So from that point onwards, it was
by the French. Do you know? So okay, a lot of people don't realize for how long, me, the rest of the team, etc., are working in chase tag, and we started in 2019, I think. And so we created an event in France that was 1v1 competition where we tried to bring everybody from France. So we had people from the south, Marseille, from Lille, Parcours 59, whatever, etc. And it's in that event that Charles Poujade, Clément Dumont, and Loïc Georgi actually met. And at
so
the
it's
end
your
of
fault.
The event, they were yeah, it's because of us. And so at the end of the event,
let's not point
we were
fingers,
joking.
Okay?
We were joking at the end of the event, and we're like, you guys, if you actually build a team all together, I'm sure you could become world champions. And I don't know, 2-3 months later, I don't remember, they actually did it. And I was like, that's cool. That's
it was
cool
necessary, man. If that didn't happen, if Moreira won another one, I honestly don't think that the level of competition would get to where it is today. The fact that Loic, Charles, and Clement came together, and Carol as well, to blow that one out of the water, meant that it was all right, the game has been stepped up again. And then Apex come along and step it up again. So yeah, insane stuff right there.
let's move on to the next clip, or we're gonna spend 2 hours on that list. But that's why I really like to make fun of British people, and I'm spending a lot of time in America. And when I'm in America, I love to tell them that French and Europeans are better, and when I'm home, I love to tell people that Americans are better, because I feel like that rivalry is what is pushing like people to become better in a healthy way. I don't want anybody to actually fight or anything. And I feel like every time European lost, it's when they started to think they were like too far ahead of the game, and it wasn't the case. And for Words this year, I told many team, hey, be careful on that part of the quad, because here I think they're doing a better job than you. And everybody was like, yeah, you're not an athlete, la la la, whatever. And then they come with the techniques I was talking about, and they just, you know, well, the Hollywood story is a tricky one. Let's not go there, but we need to readjust in Europe, and we need to win the next one. Okay.
Definitely.
Can we move on to the next clip?
Yes.
Oh, let's go. S
This
tier.
is the one that I was
S
talking
tier.
about earlier.
S.
Yeah. Come on.
There's
come
no
on.
question. It's only dangerous for him because he broke both of his arms. It's like,
Yeah.
Wait, what?
oh my gosh. So Kai broke both of his wrists on this jump, didn't he?
Yes, he broke both of his wrists, and he still went on to compete again after this with technically
that's
two
like
broken
pure
wrists.
adrenaline of, you know, he puts his hands in the air like, I don't know, I feel like my arms would be flopping all about at that point. But
And then not only that, but like this was the first time I think that the real boundaries of the rules were pushed properly as well. So it was the first time that the idea that like you can run down the clock, you can run down the 20 seconds as long as you don't touch the floor outside of the quad. And it's the first time in 7 years of chase tag that someone's actually given it a go. Once again, the mastermind of Amos coming into that as well. But
That's
Kai,
not what happened.
well, no.
But yeah.
Ooh, okay.
No, we were having a podcast with them at Pan Am's, because the first time he did it was at Pan Am's. It was against 215, and we were having a conversation, and we're like, technically, as long as you don't touch the floor, you know, you're still part of the game. And so we're surprised that nobody actually tried that. And he was like, oh yeah, you could do that. And then the next day or something like that, he actually does it in a competition, and we're like, okay, that's golden content. You know, that's super cool. So here it was the second time that he was doing this. But what I like about this clip is the fact that Damien didn't look at him. He was like, I'm going to tag you. And he went out as well to make the tag. And that's like super cool, the fact that he didn't give up and it was a tag. But anyway, so what are we thinking about? Is it
this is S tier, 100%.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. And for the people who might be tuning in right now, who I had alluded to, you know, the sport might not be that dangerous. It looks kind of, you know, perilous at a surface level. This is the guy I was talking about. Kai Baldwin has found a way to hurt himself in the most remarkable ways possible. But it just makes the sport so sick. So, I mean, yeah, this is the easiest S tier of my life.
Yeah, I agree. Same from my side.
Like that conversation is interesting because we had a couple of conversations with athletes. Because every part of the globe, it's like everybody's training in a different environment. Then you have a lot of people claiming that they're the first of doing something, and it's very difficult to know like who was the first creating something. And so if you take the Ghost, for instance, that was like popularized by Americans because they started doing it like all the time, and now everybody's kind of doing it. We actually found, I don't know if you guys or the production team have this clip, but we actually found a very old clip, you know, back in the old days where people were using the same technique in competition. And so like for us, it was super interesting to see this because we're like, there are movements that were there since ages that were not really popular. And then someone starts using it and the meta evolves. And so it reminded me in a way of Melee, where you had, you know, you have a lot of characters that everybody was like, yeah, that character is not great, etc. And suddenly someone starts doing it very often and differently, etc. And the game changes. And so nowadays it's almost like you need to know how to do a Ghost, but the movement is actually quite old. It's actually a double vault in parkour or whatever. So it's really interesting to see like what changed so that this movement became so popular. I don't know, but anyway, very old clip. What do we think about that movement?
Yeah. So this one's from WCT 3. This was the final between MRG and UGen. We were 1-0 up, and then this was David Nelms running for us. And again, Sketchy Andy proving that he's not quite as sketchy as everyone calls him. Absolutely smashes it, equalizes. Look at that. Absolutely insane stuff again. Like, I think that, I mean, I can talk about from a coach's point of view because I was obviously there managing the team when this is all happening, right? David made quite a lot of mistakes, like, so we can happily chat about that for a long time. But Andy kept it going, and the stakes at the time, like, Eugen had just missed out on the finalist spot at WCT 2, so they had a lot of skin in the game. The 1-0 down in the final, halfway through the sequence, and Andy comes through and does a madness like this. Like, nothing as sketchy and as impressive as we've seen before, but great chase tag action all the way through. Great, like, look at that. Nice little jukes, great idling. David just didn't have what it takes to catch him in there.
So,
and a nice dive roll to evasion through there as well.
The team is saying that apparently... Oh, so on the previous clip, you wanted to focus on the ghost only.
Oh, is this what we're looking at here? Is that the ghost?
Okay. My bad. So it might change.
No way, that was Andy
so yeah,
doing
apparently
the
they wanted
to
focus
the
on
original.
the ghost only.
Can we see that again? Or was that a
we
new...
we put Kai in S, and then this is a
Kai's
new clip,
definitely
right?
S.
Yeah, but then...
But is this Andy doing the ghost
Then
for the first time?
Yeah, I think for both clips, they wanted us to focus on the ghost, if I'm correct. I'm not sure. I don't have two images.
Yeah, he did. He ghosted.
Oh yeah, it is. Wow.
Yeah,
well, there we
that's
go,
what I was
Americans.
talking about.
How do you like that?
That's what I was talking about, like movements that were there in a long time ago, and meta evolving and stuff. It's all about the ghost. But I thought the first clip was like about Kai jumping out of the quad, and I think
Yes.
I think we're only
It's crazy
supposed
how many
to
things.
give a grade to the
How many
ghost.
things
Then
happen?
Yeah. Well, in that case, with the context of that being the first ghost that we've ever seen, like, I don't think it's S-class like Kai jumping out. I wouldn't even put it in A personally. I'd stick that one in B just because we're now seeing... Yeah, it ties into what you were saying earlier, Thomas, where it's like you can happily claim that you were the first to do something in Chase Tag, but here we are from the third ever competition where you've got Andy, sketchy Andy of all people, doing world first. So insane.
sketchy.
Wow,
Yeah.
didn't realize that. That's insane.
No, but it's crazy how many things happen in like just 2 seconds that you you have to notice all of them, and it's crazy how all the movements they link together, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I'm surprised.
In 2 weeks, Olivia is going to create the first Spanish team of Chase Tag.
Hey, there we go.
Yeah.
yeah. I mean,
Let's.
I think Spanish people were very competitive, so I think that's what you guys were saying before about this feeling, this
look.
rivalry.
The French-Spanish rivalry. There's nothing better. Okay, so that's from
true.
WCT 5 as well. Oh my gosh, that guy.
Oh, I remember. Yeah, again, remember watching this one live.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
wow.
not only he scores an evasion on this one against Fata Morgan, which is a serious team, but he also made a tag on Luke Stones after flipping over the reach. And I'm like,
What?
it was the first time that guy
What
was
was that guy
playing.
doing?
I don't know.
There
That's me,
was
by the way.
there's a whole drama thing about Schlapping and what they were wearing and all that kind of stuff, but they did some insane stuff. That's Dom Tommaso over there as well, one of the biggest guys in the parkour scene at the moment. Yeah, holy crap.
Oh, what the?
This was like so exciting.
Yeah.
I missed that part on the first watch. I don't know how I missed that part. Okay, that just moved it up a tier for me.
That's the interesting part.
So you say that he got... So he tagged Luke
So
Stones.
he's saying that they're on the tier list because of that. Let's go.
Yes.
And there you are,
Giannis-
Thomas, with the
Gian-
camera, right?
Yeah, it was probably before I took a shoe in the head. So yeah, I was there.
Nice memories, good times.
So what are we thinking about this one?
I'll let you guys chat through this one.
I don't know. I mean, the flip makes it cool. But am I crazy to put it at C?
I mean, that's your list. Nobody's in the chat is giving you notes, so you can decide.
I think from a technical point of view, again, big competition,
The
tough thing to do in evasion, but yeah, it's C for me.
Zeo is saying A, and also like the production team is saying you're impressed by a simple
No,
jump out of
I'm
the quad,
asking
but
you
not
guys
a
at
flip
home.
plus evasion. That's a fair point. That's a fair point.
Oh, my mom's in the chat. What's up, Mom? She got me into chase tag. It's thanks to her. Oh, I don't know if she's still listening, but I know it's
Oh,
her
yeah,
because
Mom, say hi
she
from
wrote
Florida.
with a space and exclamation
cute.
points after.
Excellent.
That's funny. Okay, fine. I'll give it a
Excellent.
B. I'll give it a B. We'll move it up.
Okay, then let's go for a B.
I'm
We
sorry
suck
if
at
you had
Bs.
to,
Man,
see
TD,
that
like, what are you
man in the
doing?
singlet, Mom.
Okay,
Oh,
what have we
man.
got
Okay.
next?
Okay, this
Another
was
clip
quite
from
recent in
Tempest,
the
yeah?
US. Yeah, so he was playing for the one of the local
Woo!
teams, I think. But it was one of the guy from
was
Nimbus,
smooth.
the APK Blue that became Nimbus.
Oh, wow.
And that move was like super funny and brand new, so we were like, oh,
That's steezy.
a nice slide.
Take the slide, yeah.
Tyler Carey. So smooth.
When was this from, Greg?
Probably last
it
year,
was
back
this
into last year.
It was this year, like in December, December 2024.
Okay, okay.
We were in Atlanta. I mean, next to Atlanta in Woodstock,
Mhm.
And so that was part of the competition.
That's where it
It's
is,
in the next training center. It's a moment of advertisement, I guess. So, what do we think about this one?
I think less technical than some of the other clips. Still really cool to see. Not really like big stakes or anything like that. So again, for me personally, C. But I'd like to see where people take this. I think it's a great foundational like new move.
Yeah, I agree. I think we're overloading our B row too much right now too. So we gotta establish some balance here. I still don't see
Take all the
Kai up in the
comments,
S rank.
Thomas.
Rating my beer, yeah, I know. I don't know if I deserve an S, but I appreciate the compliment once more. I'm already taken, by the way, so please be careful. Should we move on to the next clip then?
Let's do it. I can see them on a Mo down there, Thomas, and I'm waiting for that.
Oh yeah, I love that one. Hey, we're representing Quad Talk here.
All right, Apex. Bear.
Here comes Bear. Bear Schneider.
The focus is on the sister for this one.
Oh yeah, this is the Kong to
here.
back.
This is
isn't
the
it?
Olaf,
Yeah,
right? Yeah. This is
Yeah.
this is the one.
Not even sure he meant to do that, Olaf.
Yeah. So again, context there. Once again, this is the first time that's kind of ever been done in a competition setting. And people have changed it around a little bit there. But again, usually everyone expects to go straight over the sisters or under them. And this was the first time, like Apex before, same kind of team, doubling back on the bounce back. Look at that.
Oh, and the reaction is so sick, where he's just like, I'm beaten. I can't do this. Wow, yeah.
Nicely done.
I remember because that clip happened, Greg, and who was it? We did a like a qualifier like a month later, and then someone did the pull-off right after. I remember because I put it in my commentary reel that year.
Yeah,
This is
and
crazy.
people picked it up like that, and now we've seen it quite a bit. And that it changes the entire game around that obstacle now, because now you can't just expect people to go through it or to like stop and go back. Like, you have to now be prepared for all sorts of like different opportunities there. So
which grade?
This is a big S rank
So Shay
for
was
me.
saying S. He was saying S.
yeah, I'm going A or S for me.
I got S.
What do you reckon, Liv? A or S?
I'm impressed by all of them, but I would keep it on A because I think that there's more coming. We still have like 6 clips, so I will leave it there. But what I really liked about this one actually was and this is also what I saw in Asphalt, that people don't give up. Like, you know, even when there's like this change of direction, and you normally would be like, I like, you know, you just hope you're like, I lost. No, they just keep pushing and pushing and pushing, and then unexpectedly they get what they were aiming for when it seemed like it was going to be the opposite. And I love that. Like this persistence, this perseverance, I think. So what that in general I see that the athletes have, and that through all the clips he's showing.
Yeah, definitely. I can see that.
Yeah.
So we've got A.
Yeah.
I'm fine with A.
And here it comes.
Is he taking a selfie?
The disrespect on this Walt is insane. The
Wait, I haven't
disrespect
seen
is
this
wild.
one. Hang on.
Yeah, WCT
This is
France
from
again.
last year. Okay.
Bear in mind, 5-0 up.
That's
right?
crazy. He's like on FaceTime.
Yep.
No, he's filming him.
Yeah.
We have the video somewhere.
Oh, you do?
He's like S tier.
Yeah.
So
Is
he's
that
filming the whole
Quad
chase
Talks?
and we have the video.
Was the video
Yeah,
of
that
Quad Talks?
Oh,
Oh,
yeah, it is. It is. Look, he's
DJ.
showing it to the cameraman. That was hilarious.
Yeah, look.
That is crazy.
Insane.
The moment where you
Insane.
got the shoe in the face, Thomas.
Yeah, I mean, if it was in the tier list as well, I would probably be S, but yeah. So S, there's a lot of S. D tier, yeah, obviously. You seem biased.
I think this is, yeah, it depends on who you ask. It's S tier to someone who loves the disrespect, and it's D tier to someone who is not about it. But
Yeah, for sure.
I'm on the, this is a S tier one for me.
Yeah, I'll rate it up there as well. I think like just the English word is gumption, right? Just the absolute like
Oh yeah,
grit to be able to go and do something like that is insane, like absolutely insane. So I'll give it up. I'll go for A for myself. Like I reckon it was another one of those iconic moments, and probably caused Quad Talks to have to sit there and reanalyze what he was doing in his life. You know, sorry, bro.
Yeah, we have no S and no D tier. Let's pick one.
Yet.
Because both of these places are empty.
Wait, we had Kai in S tier,
Yeah, I'd stick Kai and S.
right?
No, because
Didn't we?
so that clip, I didn't realize what the production team was doing is that they wanted us
ghost
to
thing, right?
focus on the ghost only and not the whole
okay.
chase. So we were talking about like the jump out of the quad, but apparently it was only the ghost. So yeah.
Okay.
Okay, fair play. All right, well, show us some S tier stuff then, Thomas.
I'll give it a yeah.
Quad talk is like, hey, if I'm in an S tier, that's cool. So anyway.
Bear again. WCT USA?
Yeah. No, it was Panam's, and I
Panam's,
remember that
okay.
movement because Matty is like super shy but super good, and he's quite creative. And he did that weird road where he was.
yes,
my
let's
God.
go.
Yeah, this.
Oh, it's a
I was
shame
like,
he got
that's-
tagged on that.
that's
That would have
so
been
cool.
sick.
Yeah,
In the last second.
that was very close.
Wow.
So close.
Oh, yeah, let's watch that again. So he slips coming into the mountain, recovers it.
Creative bridge movement too is insane.
Oh, that's beautiful. And Matthew
Just
was
didn't have
such
enough
a
speed at the end.
he was such a key player in Hollywood's victory at WCT 6 as well. And you
Yeah.
can see the
And
inspiration
I
is
feel
starting
like
to come through there.
he's one of the people that don't really get enough credit, in my opinion, because he's super shy. And I feel like people are talking about the loud player a bit more. But every single time he was on the quad, he actually performed. So I think he did an amazing job, and I feel like Gabe too at Hollywood.
Yeah, Gabe Torres.
Mhm.
And I feel like sometimes people are not talking enough about them. But yeah, that's just how I feel.
Yeah, I'm with
One of the
Zio in the
MVP, right,
chat.
Thomas?
A for the move, S if he evades.
Same here. I agree with that.
I agree.
Okay, let's do the next one then.
Building it up
The
nicely.
next
It's
one
getting
is-
there.
The next one is not that impressive, but kind of funny though, and we had to put it. So.
Okay. Oh, no. Oh, no. Okay,
Oh
fine.
no, it's not the one I was thinking about. Okay, I love that move. I mean, I
Okay, so
love
this
that
is
dude,
France
so-
again.
Hmm
This is
Finals, maybe?
words.
Yeah?
No, it was the semi-finals. Parkour 59
I think
versus
this is when
Hollywood.
Kai ties it up, right?
Whoa!
Oh, he did get him. Okay.
Days!
Yeah, and he
But then
asked for
cracks up- I think
BTR
he does it
and
again,
make
doesn't
a
he?
second tag. That chase.
But
to
he
me
does
is
another
amazing 'cause
Andy Die,
Naeem
doesn't he?
was
Yeah, he does. There
injured.
it is. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. That guy is injured. Have enough time in 20 seconds to tag Kai. You know, not any evader. Like once, then
Oh my
ask for
gosh.
DTR and tag him a second time. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I love it. In some of the most like amazing jumps in chase tagging history, in my opinion. But I'm completely biased on that
Coming
one.
off
So
the loading
I'm
bay
not gonna
like
give
that.
you my
like,
my note.
oh. I don't know. This is a very tough one to place because, like, look at that. Like, that could have gone so
Look at that,
wrong.
he celebrates.
But then he still like commits to the tag at that point there.
Yeah.
And he was absolutely, well, I say he was absolutely
Yeah.
fine. Like, definitely wasn't absolutely fine, but he was all right afterwards. Ooh. This is a tough one.
Look at the
This is a
perimeter
very tough
moving.
one.
That's Oh my gosh! Look at the perimeter, like how it bounces here.
The whole thing's moving. Oh my gosh.
The impact, because that's quite heavy.
And the moat, yeah,
Always
come
double
on.
tap for sure. Yeah.
Do you know what? I think I want to say first S tier for me, but like, yeah, screw it. First S tier for me. I reckon the double tap is the big one.
Okay, Shay's
Yeah, I
saying
think
D
the
for him.
celebration for in between too, and then still being able to get there. That's grit. That's crazy.
Hmm.
And the layout too is just like the Andy dive we saw in the beginning.
But
So
done
sick.
less sketchily. Didn't land on his
Done
head.
less sketchily, yeah. Very well scripted out on that one.
Yeah. Tough one. I think this one's on you guys. What do you both reckon?
I don't know. I kind of agree with the comment that was like great dives because Naeem is crazy. I was like, okay, they do have a point. But I don't know. I feel biased. What do you think, Thomas?
I mean, for me, I love Naeem, so for me it's gonna be an S. Like that's one of the highlights of words in my opinion. But I know that I'm like not the guy to ask for that specific chase because I don't know. There are so many clips of Naeem where one for World Chase at 5 where he jumps from the top of the mountain to tag Sliger, on the floor like WWE style. There's that one. There's like so many clips of Naeem that I'm like, that guy's I don't know, crazy. I love him. So if you ask me, that's S. But
Let's do
That's your
S.
call.
We get to our final few
Let's leave it
here.
there.
I think Greg's right on this one.
okay,
Let's do
next
it.
one then.
Okay, let's do the next one.
So
Much hesitation.
9.1 seconds. It's competitive, but it could have been so
we
much
talk
better.
about crazy dive.
Okay.
This one too was a crazy dive.
I gotta go with
So,
low. I
sudden
think
death,
so
9.1
different
seconds to
this
beat.
tag in less than 10 seconds.
Athletes ready!
Joe on up. Must go straight at him,
Joe
but he
again,
must
yeah,
make the
Joe
tag. He has got less than... Oh, and he's got out of the quad! He has scared him out of the quad and then got back up to make the tag. I've
And
never
we
seen
talked
anything
about
like it.
that situation with the athletes from Southwell. He was actually so surprised because he thought that Joe injured himself, that he's like kind of shocked and he slips out of the quad because he was like, what is going on here? And that's, I don't know, that's just hilarious. What kind of dive is this?
Too much hesitation.
I don't know.
9.1 seconds. It's competitive.
Like, I just what you don't. He didn't land in the cube. He went through the other side. Like that's
Yeah.
like how does that
Full slide
logistically
through
work?
from the center is insane, actually.
A lot of airtime on
Also
that as
the-
well. It's crazy.
Yeah. I think there's also the underlying context that we talk about a lot in sudden deaths, where it's like if you are an evader and you start and you tilted cube start, which isn't what happened here, but if you just simply started tilted cube, it takes the chaser like a solid 2 to 3 seconds just to get to the obstacle in the first place, right? So you're talking maybe one interaction at the tilted cube, and you probably win sudden death if you only have to beat 9 seconds. That's really impressive. Wow.
Yeah.
Um,
Very,
so
very
Zoe is
again like
asking
a
if
strange
the
unicorn
Swiss
moment,
team
right?
Did the same. I'm not sure if Overground did the same. I don't remember any similar jump from anybody else, but I might be wrong.
Same here. Okay, fine. Going out and giving the ovation.
So what do we do?
Interesting. I think that's less than S and A. I think that's a B for me. I think it's like incredible
Really?
unicorn moment, and like he steps back and steps out. But like fundamentally, that's probably like a very lucky accident right there. Like that could have gone so much worse.
Yeah, I'm cool with B also.
So,
I do think the context of the fact that being under 10 seconds for a sudden death is really important. You know, like you only really get that one shot, and if it doesn't work out, you lose from that point on. But yeah, I think good moment for sure. I'm with Greg.
Okay.
I think he's getting better and better and better. And look at
Oh,
Very clean, Ludi dive.
that looty, the looty dive.
Yeah. Yeah, so earlier when we were mentioning the Viper and it was the first time that people were seeing this, the Ludi dive was the same thing. It was the first time that people were starting to use that board that goes to the mountain to actually dive further. And it was very clean, very simple. So yeah.
I have a comment from the chat saying this dive should be called "It's Okay, I Will Respawn." That's very funny.
Great.
He's got that so locked in, doesn't he? Chase Tag recently shared a clip of
Yeah.
I don't know, I think it was from WCT 6, and Jared like gets thrown off balance, so he's about to land backwards, recovers, and then does the looty dive like perfectly again and gets the tag. So yeah, look at that. Just awareness is insane.
Is this the first time it was shown?
I'm not
like
so
that move,
in that
or
tournament. Yes, in that tournament, yes, but I don't know if this one specifically is the first one or not, because we're already in the quarterfinals. So maybe he used it before in the competition, but in that competition, it was the first time that people were doing this. That's why it was called the Ludi dive, because that's his name. So yeah,
people have done like much sketchier versions where they just go for the dive and then like kind of half gate vault, which is kind of when you just basically flop over like that. But I think this was the first like technically intentional land on your feet, ready to go again kind of moment that we've seen. So yeah, definitely good. I always just want to give these Bs because I'm like, it's just confident like in the middle, right? But I think that one deserved more. I think that one deserves an A just because, again, from a technical point of view, he got the tag, he finished the chase, he landed on his feet again, like, and now people are using that and spamming that a little bit more now. So I'm gonna give him a B, an A from my side, sir.
I'm saying hi to Rainbow Panda, I guess. That guy knows Snoop Dogg very well. He's a close friend of Snoop Dogg, so if you...
Do you want to get Snoop Dogg to enter a chase tag team, yeah?
Ask him.
Let's go.
Maybe,
I think he actually would.
Can you ask him?
He was
Please.
he was so into
wasn't he?
Beach volleyball for the last Olympics too. I feel like you could get him into chase tag.
What's this one from? This must have been old school.
Oh, this was from the French Championship. So but a little bit of context. We did put this because we also wanted to thank our team that is working on every event with us, and I want to thank you guys too. And that was hilarious. So we just wanted to make fun of our team because our cameraman was just chilling outside, and Abdallah just went full speed, like a car or a truck, just to hit the cameraman, and we were actually quite worried for him, but I think he's all right. I hope so.
I hope so.
Here's the
quickly
thing,
throw a
as a
shout
media
out
person,
to
so you see this.
Kai
Look
in
at
the
this.
chat.
Look, we'll watch it one more time. As someone who came from media and kind of lives in that world, you see it in real time, right? Watch this. He comes through. Obviously, incredibly fast athlete that we see on the quad. But look at this. Wait for it. Camera stays up no matter what. Camera never hits the ground. It doesn't matter. You put your body on the line. S tier, 100%.
Hey,
I love that.
Luke Bienfait is a professional, okay? No matter the conditions, he's going to work and do a great job.
I'll stick that in S as well. Yeah. What's good, by the way,
Yeah,
Kai?
no,
How you
this is
doing, man?
really-
You got Kai Baldwin in the chat.
Oh, yeah, true.
Hey, we talked about you earlier. You weren't there. That's
Yeah,
that's a
I
shame.
gave you an S tier,
Next
but I
time
don't
you
think
should
we
come
actually
earlier.
had a clip for it.
Yeah, I don't think so. Was it the last one? Production team? Oh, no. Here's the last one.
Oh, this is from Youth League.
That was from
this is the one we
Youth
just did.
League. Yeah,
Oh,
but
this one was
in the
okay,
youth
sick.
league, it's
This
the
one was
moment
so
where
sick. Look, the dive through.
Yeah, I remember going wild on stream with you about this one, Walt. Is it like
Do you know?
the
Do you know what
alley-oop
this
through the
reminds me of?
legs?
Actually, now that I'm watching it back, did you guys ever play as like you're non-Americans? It was called Stuck in the Mud,
Yes,
and it was like
yes,
it was
yeah, we
like
did.
tag, but it was freeze tag. And if you got stuck in the mud, like you got tagged, you had to stay in place, and then one of your teammates had to like go underneath your legs to unstick you, and then you were
Yeah,
back
to
in the
free
game.
you.
That's literally what just happened.
Mate, Stuck in the Mud was the OG chase tag training back in the day. So
It
this
really
is
was. That's
good to see
crazy.
that it keeps going. You know.
Man, this
Yeah,
one is
look,
so
there
cool
was-
to me. I think this is a S also, just for the fact that it's youth league. We really set the stage when we had that event of like the kids are probably we were kind of going in with the expectation of maybe these kids are a bit younger, they aren't as familiar with the quad, and then you pull moves like that, right? The confidence to just run straight through someone is just so cool to me.
And this is
I
definitely.
want to talk about the youth league a little bit later because I want to have your feelings about that event. That was quite interesting. In my opinion, this is one of the highlights of the event. I really like the excitement from the crowd. Like everybody was screaming.
Going
Yeah,
wild
that
on
was
there.
like super
You see
cool.
Low Georgie at the bottom of the screen
But
absolutely losing his mind.
before going
yeah,
to
look,
the
a
youth
couple of
league,
unfortunate
I would
slips
like
coming.
to grade the previous shot, and I would
Yeah.
Oh,
also like to get a better tier list because I feel like we did put a lot of things in S tier, and if everything is S tier, nothing is S tier. So I would like to see the list again, and let's see how we can rearrange it, if it's possible.
Yeah, we
What
got to
about
move
this
a couple of the B's to
Okay.
D's probably.
So where should we put it?
Okay.
Best moment of
Right.
my life. So
Okay, I think like
Okay,
from
guys.
a technical view. Go on, Liv. You go first.
no, I was just gonna say like maybe just choose one of the worst of the three S tier and bring it down, make it easy, go step by step.
Yeah. Okay. I'd like to take the Mo clip from S tier. I think it was a
Yeah,
really
I
hilarious
think so
clip, but
too.
I think in terms of like, in terms of chase tag, what it's become, what it has been, like I think that, yeah, amazing clip, great, viral, will help the sport grow. But like, yeah, we've definitely seen some of the stuff in there which deserves top.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think that balances us a little bit more too.
and you're gonna make Quad Talk happy. So press F. Yeah, we will. We will.
Quad Talk always gets what they want.
So anyway, then maybe we
Yeah.
should like go and talk about the youth league now, because it's
Yeah, let's do
the
it.
first event of 3 events that are going to come, and I would love. I'm not sure we actually sat down to talk about like how you felt about the event, and I was really curious to hear, how it was perceived from the outside, because in the room it was crazy and it was super exciting, but I don't know if you guys felt the same way. Like, what are your pronostics on the next events? And I don't know, did you enjoy it?
Greg, you wanna
You
go?
go first, yeah, okay. Yeah, like Walt and I were basically screaming over the stream, so that's a good start. So it's a good point. I think that what Walt said earlier is like we both went into it thinking that maybe the standard of chase tag was going to be slightly lower because this is the first time that we had like the youth kind of teams participating like this in the proper competition. But I can confidently say that like every team blew me away personally. I think Urban Corp Phoenix in particular were wild in terms of how much time they've spent working on their craft now, which is insane as well. And we had some really strong movements going on there, like not only the little nutmeg that we saw earlier, but there was some really creative movements happening on the quad too, and some really strong dives that we were seeing, some good vipers. Like I was really impressed just by how high the standard was. And that was the first of the 3 competitions, and it'll only ramp up as the comp goes on. So yeah, for me, it was insane. It was confidence inspiring thinking about the future of chase tag with all of the athletes that we saw that day.
Yeah, I think
But
circling back to what we had talked about in terms of kind of like grassroots communities and how there may exist some overlap between some of the stuff I do with esports and some of the stuff you guys are seeing in the chase tag community, and maybe how the sport can grow. This is a huge step forward for me. For me, of the perspective of I just love doing commentary, so I was stoked to be doing 2 to 3 more chase tag events with you guys in the first place. Find out I might be able to do the one in June, by the way, Greg, which might be fun to be able to get you
Come
for 3 out
on.
of 3. But yeah, it's so cool to me to see the level of play almost mirror that of what we would expect to see from the tippy top athletes in this sport. It's so awesome. I mean, there were some of these kids were as young as what, like 14 or something like that, wasn't it? I can't remember off the top of my head. I remember, I think it was either Griffin or Rook who only had like 3 athletes, and they were just running through 3 athletes for the entire round robin. That has to be exhausting, you know?
Yeah.
It's just really cool to me. I
It
think that
was.
it's a really good thing for the sport.
And
Yeah,
and talking
definitely.
about them, I felt a bit sad because I felt like they deserve a lot of credit to show up. They don't have a quad; they have a very tiny teams, and they
Mhm.
still come and until the end of the competition they were fighting and fighting and fighting, and some of them were quite upset after the competition because of the 8-0 situation. Obviously, it's quite hard. But yeah, like I was excited to see a new team. That's a new part of France, and I think they should be proud of themselves. And some of the kids from Rook
100%.
as well, like one of them was so tiny, and the way he was running on the quad, I felt like
He was
could
so
have run
quick.
more,
Yeah.
and it was super.
This is the guy that
nice.
opened up
Yeah.
the whole comp, didn't he? And it
Yeah,
was like
he got
it was
like
literally
3
like
points
David and
in a
Goliath.
row.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
that
cool.
was insane
So
to see.
cool.
Yeah.
There were, I think
So
Gavin
maybe-
is the
Maybe what we
forest tag guy. Like, he blew me away
Yeah,
so much.
yeah,
Sorry,
yeah.
I just had to get that one out there. He basically did the ghost in the youth league,
Yeah.
which is
Right.
wild.
Yeah, I
And
think there's a lot of
it's
cool
funny 'cause I feel
opportunity
like-
for oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, go on. Sorry.
Okay. I think there was a lot of so I saw some parallels between there actually are like competitive leagues for Pokemon, which I'm sure you guys are familiar with that IP in some capacity. And it is cool. They separate their tournaments into age brackets like that too. So I mean, you talk about the development of a sport like this, they have the juniors league in Pokemon, which are you have to be under, I think it's under like high school or even or something like that. And then like the Masters League is from like whatever age until 18 or 21 or something like that. And then the seniors and then Masters. So seniors is in between, and then Masters is anybody. But it's cool to be able to have those stratifications, those levels of age brackets where athletes can compete in the youth leagues or whatever, and like learn more about the sport, and then grow up with the sport, more importantly, and then start to build themselves into potentially a career with the sport, which is really cool.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, for me,
100%.
I think it's really impressive. Like, if they're already doing these things that are really difficult, and like every beginning is difficult itself, like what you were saying about it's not easy to find a spot where to train on that, but they already have this level. Like, what are they going to be able to do, in the future? And like all this mentality, and they grow up with it, which is very different to in any skill that is different to learn it as an adult than as a kid. And if you catch them at this age, it's like it's really exciting to see what they are going to be able to do. Do you guys have any predictions of what's going to happen? Okay.
Good question. I mean, I think I'm a little bit biased. I think I've made my favorite team, my favorite athletes quite clear from this point on here. But I don't know. Like
something.
the Parkour 59 like youth team was absolutely insane. Like they really blew it away, and so did Urban Corp Phoenix. And like based on that competition that I saw alone, and the kind of level of athleticism that we see from the young age, personally, my money's on Urban Corp Phoenix going all the way. But remember, this isn't just which team is best on the day. This is a 3-stage event, which you can gather points across every event. So it really will just come down to being consistent enough to maintain a good level throughout the three competitions.
So,
Right.
So I'm gonna play devil's advocate here. I think the Fakao kids have a good chance of like taking it. For a simple reason is that I know their coach and I know their mindset. And these kids, and it's the same with the main Fakao team, is like they train hard and on a like consistent basis. Like they show up no matter if it's raining, snowing, whatever, and they train. And I feel like it's a bit unfair to like at least not put them in the conversation, because I really believe I don't think it's going to be a clear cut between, you know, Paco 59, Fakao, or Urban called Phoenix. I feel like all of these teams can actually take it. And so, don't forget about, you know, these boys from every. They're
If I'm not mistaken, also I think for a majority of the round robin, it was a 3-way tie between those two in terms of overall points. I can't remember off the top of my head who actually came out on top, but it was very slim margins from what I remember.
The three of them had the same number of points, and because we
they did. Okay.
use evasions. We don't use evasions in that league because it's a bit unfair depending on who you're going to play in which event, because not all the teams are playing the 3 events. So it's a bit of a tricky situation. So they all end up first. And so the next event they're going to play is going to be the one that is going to decide everything pretty much.
I see.
So,
Yeah, I mean, it's all really exciting to me. I think one of the things that we talk about a decent amount for the non-youth league is the recent development of more and more teams getting quad access to, right? And that idea of like, you know, we talked about it at the start of the show as well. Even though like the UK had kind of created the sport more or less and like pioneered so much of the movement, the fact that accessibility wasn't all the way there for all of these other regions. Oh man, get that out of here. Come on now. It's like, oh no, I mean, actually, yes, let's go. It's like, holy moly. But I think it's cool that, you know, there's so much accessibility out there. It's led to the storylines of like, you know, USA versus France in the last Worlds, or like the idea of, you know, like our different regions starting to catch up. We saw that crazy, oh my God, what was the name of the crazy Chinese or Japanese team that did really well in Worlds? You know what I'm talking about? It was something space
Monkey Flight Club.
Yes.
Was that
yes,
Japanese?
exactly.
I don't think the Japanese did well. That's the Japanese team, but the one that surprised most people was the Chinese team. And to be fair, so when we were like the month that we're leading to Worlds, I kept saying to everybody, we need to talk about the Chinese, because these guys had like 3 nationals and they won the 3 nationals, and you know, we shouldn't put them out of the conversation. And the fact that on their first match they won against one of the best team in the US, I was just so happy. I felt like it was a good way for them to show that, you know, China and Asia as well shouldn't be left out of the conversation. So
looks like it was
all of
Parkour Man was the team.
Stories, you know.
Parkour Man. That's it.
Yeah.
And then it goes a step further where like,
had, like
the youth league
SWAT members, they had like
I was going to say that the youth league that we've got happening obviously here is amazing, but there's been a consistent youth league in China and Japan for even longer. So the question is no longer about what's happening at the moment. It's what does the next 5 to 10 years look like, when it's not just about America, who don't have a big youth league right now, France, who does, and the Asian teams who do as well. Like, what does that look like in 5-10 years time? How does the sport grow when these people then grow up like Orlando did? Like, are we going to see whole teams of Orlando times 10? Like, that would be wild.
I hope so. Anyway, all of this took a little bit longer than I expected. We have a couple of announcements to make. Do you guys want to stay with us?
Yeah, let's do it.
You tell me.
Yeah, go for it. I mean, I want to find out as much as anyone else, Thomas.
So the first one, I'm going to see if the chat will find out. There is a thing that a lot of people have been asking for a while, and we started working on it. Do you have any guess?
No. Greg, do you have
It's like,
Olivia, do you have one?
I don't know. I feel like I need context going on.
It happened. Okay. I'm gonna give you a little bit more than it happened only once, and I think people enjoyed it. And so a lot of people, especially on Discord, were like, "Oh, when are you bringing that back? When are you bringing that back?"
It's probably 1v1s. It's probably like flight clubs.
I'm gonna give you a little bit of a hint.
Hey, come on.
So
Let's go.
I can give you a second hint. But yeah, pretty much. I'm not sure when you will be able to get them. But we started working on a brand new cards deck for World Chase Tag. It's going to be with all the athletes from World Chase Tag 6 at Worlds. So you're going to have like shiny cards and team cards and all of the things you had, plus a couple
Let's
of
go.
bonus cards. I'm not sure exactly when the release date will be, but I think we're going to talk about it at some point. Yeah, the team is saying
Let's
180
go.
cards to collect, and so take my money. So yeah, that's one of the new things
still,
that are incoming.
I still have, like, not vacuum sealed, but sealed away. I have the original cards from the entire Apex team from their victory at WCT.
Okay.
4, 5? No, not their entire victory. Was it Apex? Yeah, I've got the entire Apex
Five, yeah.
selection, and that's what I'm gassed about. So to have a new collection to try and get through, yeah, I like it. I'm here for it. Only if we get a Loic and a Thomas card, though.
So, Thomas,
Yes.
I need a photo. No, I'm not gonna show anything anymore. I'm not sure I was supposed to show you anything. I did anyway. So too late.
That's
No,
good.
but Thomas, I just want to say that. Oh, can you hear me?
Go on. Sorry.
Yeah, no, that you've been working really hard for the cards. It's not like a one night thing. Like, you guys have been working on it for a long time. So, I mean, I really want to see the final products, and I know you might not be able to give us a release, but date. But can you tell us a bit about, like, how are we going to be able to interact with them, or can we like pre-order? Is it anything that we can do as an audience?
I like to be honest. If the production team can help me on this, all I know is that they're going to be collectible. I don't think there is a game that you can play with these cards. We're trying to work on this because we think that it's better if you have cards that you can play with, but it's not going to be for this specific event. Maybe in the future, hopefully in the future. And there are a lot of other things that we're working on. But yeah, that's pretty much all I can tell you. I'm guessing you're probably going to be able to buy it on the World Chase Tag website. I don't know, it's a wild guess, but I'm guessing that's where you're going to be able to get them. And I would love to move on to the next announcement. I don't know if the team is ready.
Let's do it.
Yeah, there you go. So this one is one that I really wanted to talk about. It's been a while now, something like 6 months or whatever, that with the development team we're working on basically building a rent system for Chase Tag, where everybody is going to be able to come and play, and then depending on your performances, you're gonna have like an elo that is going to evolve, and some rents and some awards, etc. Basically, we want to build some kind of worldwide competition, and we feel that there are more and more chase-off in Chase Tag, but these events don't really connect to each other, and for a lot of athletes, sometimes they're unsure when they're going to be able to compete next, or if they have enough friends to build a team, or if they're going to be invited, and all of that. And so we really try to give you guys something that you can use the whole year long to like work and progress and improve. So that's, it's been a couple of months that we're working on it. They showed a couple of the new interfaces that it's going to be using. Basically, you're going to come, the system is going to divide you into different groups depending on your level, the number of people in your groups, etc. You're going to have different length durations, and then it's kind of a king of the hill. Like, someone is going to come, and then the wave lasts, let's say, 9 minutes, like here, and then each time someone is going to play, we only count the time that you're playing. We're going to remove some of that time in the wave duration, and at the end of the wave, depending on if someone is overperforming, underperforming, etc., we're going to move them maybe to different groups so that everybody can have fun. If you're not that great at chase tag and you just want to have fun, you can come and compete. If you're really competitive and you want to be the number one person in the world, then you can, keep grinding until you go up in the ladder. So yeah, basically we are running through a phase of light tests right now, and in March, and that's why I'm excited, we want to actually try it in real life with a couple of gyms to run the first few tests, see how the athletes feels about that, see what we can do to improve it, etc. And then from like March to June, we're gonna release it for more and more gyms, so that we're gonna start in Europe and then do it for the rest of the world. So here's a little bit of some of the interface we're having, the pause menu and stuff. We try to build that the same way we would build some kind of video games. So we wanted to make it like quite exciting. So when you're going to score a lot of evasions, you're going to have rewards. When you're going to keep tagging people, you're going to have some rewards. And we really try to think about the whole experience so that you can come and really have fun while doing this. And yeah, so if you guys can bring the calendar so I could focus on this. Yeah, and become the best chaser in your gym, city or country. So Mars, we're beta testing in Europe with probably only a couple of gyms, so we could have the first feedback. Then in April, we want to test it probably in the US or the rest of the world, like if we have people willing to test outside of Europe. And then in May, we're going to fix all of the problems that we're potentially going to have. And the idea is that in June, we're going to start the first season. And like any video games, you're going to have seasons that are going to... So from next year, it's going to be from January to December. But for this year, it's only going to be a 6-month season to see how the ELO is evolving, how everybody's using the app, and see what we can improve. But yeah, that's something we're really excited about. And every 4 weeks, we're going to give you updates on, where's the development, what are we working on, what can we do, probably demos. I would love for you guys to send us videos of, what's going on every week in the gyms and in the ranks, so that we can react to this, commentate about it, maybe talk about the ladder, like who came first, etc. So I'm super, super excited about this. And the second thing that we want to do with this, but we're going to do a bigger announcement later. Pretty much, we did an event that was a 32 chase off that Walt actually commented. And the concept of this event was that the winning team was getting a crown. And so they were supposed to come back and put it on the table. And because we want to create more link in the community and we want to have people mixing teams and stuff, once a year, when the season will be over, we are going to organize another one of these events where no official teams are going to be allowed, and only the people that are, a specific rank or above are allowed to come. And people are going to be able to all meet together and just play for the ground and all the surprises that we're working on. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
I like that, man. That's really cool. That's how you inspire community, and that's how you get everyone working together and kind of having a goal to work towards. So sick.
I can't wait to grind my rank so I can defeat Dan Dawson in the quad at a moment's notice. And I hate that this is so one-sided. Dan probably doesn't even know that I'm ready to compete with him at any moment, but he will. He'll learn soon.
Me and Dan have been We've been training. Well, we're getting them ready. Just saying.
No, you can't. No, that's a betrayal on so many fronts, Greg. You can't do that to me. That would
You've
hurt
got
me to my
Amos over
core.
there. You guys can play. It's fine. I'll get Dan up and running.
Oh my gosh! All right, fair
No,
enough.
I got you,
fair
Walt.
enough.
I got you.
And so
Okay.
the last announcement is I'm gonna stop talking, I guess, and they're gonna send you a little bit of a video. I think it's gonna be exciting too.
It is a Hollywood story, so many times denied in major tournaments, and Hollywood are champions of the world.
I don't fuck with nobody, but myself is enough. Always late to the party, wonder why. I got blood in the knees. Turning back on my shit, more than alive, they only dead.
The star player may have made a bit of a rookie error here because his back is not shown to be attacked on the DTR.
One of the craziest matches I've ever seen.
Scott Mike nearly stumbled out of the quad entirely. How has he managed to keep his footing?
It's too much on the way, none left on the plate. Murder, meditate, then call it a day. Too much on the way, still try to find a way.
What?
Yes, yes. I can go. Let's go.
You can go. You can go. I hope you're gonna come. I hope you're
I
gonna
can
come.
finally meet you guys. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Holy
So
moly.
yeah, for the first time ever, we're gonna organize a US championship in the local gyms, and so it's gonna be a 3-part like competition. You have the East Coast qualifier, West Coast qualifier. One will be in mix next to Atlanta. The other one will be in Momentum in California, and the final will be at the Dets gym during the summer. And so yeah, it's now official, and I'm excited to see you guys there. And I hope we're
my
going to be
God.
able to do like some kind of podcast or whatever there physically all together on the sofa. I think that could be exciting. And this time you're going to have to come and train on the quad walk. Yeah, just
Hey, there it is.
I'm gonna go for a run right now. I need to leave and go exercise.
I need
Dude,
to start training now.
This is so sick. Oh my gosh, Greg, you're shacking up with me in New York, bro. Get your ticket.
I was
We're
going
hanging
to say,
out.
that's stupidly exciting stuff right there. Like, I've
Oh
been
my
looking for an
gosh.
excuse to come to the States for a long time, and hey, this could be the one right there.
there you go. There you go.
Oh, this is insane.
So-
Nicely done, guys. That's yeah, that's really good to see that it's keeping going. We got some really cool, exciting, like not only the youth league happening at the moment, but the US like champs coming up as well. Like that's insane and stuff. Very, very happy.
Thomas, could you give a quick reminder of the dates and locations real quick, just for anyone who might be
Yeah.
tuning in?
So maybe the team can write them somewhere. I know it starts at the end of April. I think it's the last weekend of April. Yeah.
Oh,
April
there it is.
There we go.
27. There you go.
West Coast.
So that's next to San Francisco, if I'm correct. It's going to be the first time I'm going to see the Momentum gym. I've never been there.
I'm writing all of this
Woodstock
down.
is
I'm
next
so
to
excited.
Atlanta, which is not far away from New York. It's only like 2 hours of flight or something.
I go to
Atlanta, so-
Georgia once a month for a gig, so I'm finding out right
No
now
way.
if I'll be there. So,
Sick.
oh gosh, I'm looking at all of my stuff. Jeez.
And so yeah, the final will be later in July at the Dexterity Depot gym. And so how it's gonna work is that we're gonna have 8 teams in the East, 8 teams in the West. The top 4 are going to qualify. If I'm correct, if I'm wrong, production team, you can correct me. They're gonna go to the final, and then from the finals, I think 2 or 3 US teams are going to qualify forwards. I'm unsure.
Let's go.
But yeah, if you want more details, I guess the Watches Tag are going to talk about this in the next couple of days. So yeah, top 4
Hell
of each
yeah.
qualifiers go to finals, and
Nice,
then the
very
top 3
emergency
from
with
the
that.
finals have a spot forwards. So yeah.
Holy
Excellent.
moly! I am
So, yeah.
looking at. I'm literally on Google Maps right now, and I see that the Dexterity Depot gym is like a 3-hour drive from me. I'm so excited.
very
This
close
is
to you.
crazy.
Sick.
Yep.
Sick.
So you better be there.
Super.
better be there.
That's pretty cool. That's so cool. Now we just need the next stuff to happen in the UK. We'll have like a UK champs, and then we might have a UK,
Maybe cheeky events in
So
Spain.
we'll see. But I mean, you guys in the UK could organize your own thing. Like, look at French people. We never received any funding from anybody, not even the World Chase Tag or anything, and we organized our
Yeah.
events. So you guys can
so
do
cool.
it. And by the
It's
way,
So does
Definitely
this mean we will have Dan and the gang coming out to the US then for this? Is this getting televised too?
I
Okay.
I'm not sure.
All right.
I think they want to do.
Don't get my
I think
hopes
they
up
wanna do
here, dude.
something
I don't-
like. I think they want to do something more like simple, and do it more like all the other events we're doing, like the way we did the French qualifier and stuff. I think they want to do something similar. So it might be less of a bit, production like thing, much more of a internet, very simple live. I think so. But if
All right, Greg, you and me.
we can-
All the way,
Let's say,
baby.
buddy.
Let's
Here we
go. Let's go, dude. Oh man. Oh, this is so sick.
Yeah, that's crazy cool stuff. It's soon as well. Like, I know that a lot of the teams are training, and obviously we've seen a lot of clips from like the athletes out in the States doing some really cool stuff at the moment. So let's see if they can step it up and match what Hollywood threw down at the Worlds last year, and see if we can raise the bar again.
We'll see. Well, I think that was all for tonight. I wanted to say thank you guys for coming. You stayed a lot longer than I expected. And I want to say also thank you to not only you guys that are helping us, but also the rest of the team, people that you don't usually see, the guys that are in the dark rooms behind the cameras and stuff, the guys that someone, for instance, did our 3D assets, thanks to Clément, thanks to, the people that helped us write the rundown, organized all of this. We're going to be back every 2 weeks with other guests. The next one, I cannot announce it now, but he might be American and you might like him. We will see. But yeah, I would love to have you guys for another podcast in the future, before or after the Youth League, before or after the US Championship. I mean, you're free to come whenever you want, pretty much. This place is also yours. So yeah, it was nice having you there. Thank you, Oli, as well. And if you guys have any question in the chat, it's your moment. If you don't, we might say bye to you.
While questions are throwing, Thomas, thank you so much as well for hosting and entertaining us for the past 2 hours. It's been very fun, and I'm looking forward to doing it again. I'll tell you that.
I think in real life it's going to be better because it feels different,
Yeah.
I have very good memories of the Tempest one or the podcast we did with Dan, etc., where we were all in a room laughing together, joking together. I feel like it's quite refreshing. By the way, for the podcast we did with Tempest, they were talking about melee, brawl, etc. So
Let's go. Let's go.
It's funny. So, yeah.
I can't wait for the Amos Rendao segment of try to understand what he's saying or what his definitions of things are. It's just the hardest trivia you could ever imagine. That's your next segment for one of these.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
it's gonna be a fun one.
There is something that I want to do. They might hate me right now, but I want to do a tier list with the best punchlines from Dan Dawson. And that would be hilarious if you guys want to come.
Yeah.
And we could do that because I have a lot of them in my mind, and I'm like, this one was brilliant, this one was brilliant. So yeah, maybe we could do that in the future.
That's great.
I'm down.
Well, then I guess I'm gonna say bye to you guys and see you in 2 weeks. Thank you for coming.
Let's do it.
And yeah,
Thanks, Thomas. Thanks, guys. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
See you guys.
Bye.